Happy Canada Day, everyone! This is Sharon from Penguin Palace, and I'm glad you're here. Today, I'm joining a group of talented crafters to celebrate this special day by featuring Canadian craft shops and products. And I'm pleased to say that Penguin Palace, along with many other Canadian stamp companies and magazines, are sponsoring today's event. After watching this video, be sure to leave a comment below for a chance to win some fabulous prizes. Then click on the link in the description for the next person on the hop. The more you comment, the higher chance of winning. All of the giveaway details, including the full list of participants, are on Emily's blog, and you'll find a link to her blog in the description below. Without further ado, let's get started. For those who are visiting for the first time, I'm the inventor of the Stencils 360. This tool lets you create with stencils in a cool new way. If you're new to this, please check out my intro video, which I'll link in the description below. I'm very excited that this tool got its patent earlier this year, and I stand behind it 100%. Today, I will be demonstrating with one of the newest set of stencils in our spring-summer release, the Mandalas bundle. This bundle has a total of 8 stencils in different sizes. The 4 larger stencils will make up the backbone of the design, while the smaller transparent stencils finish the central portion of the design. And the coolest thing about this set is that you can mix and match them to create a variety of different looks. I have the base secured to my glass mat with some purple tape. It is crucial that the base doesn't move throughout the entire process. I use the A2 size paper guide to center my A2 size card. And the next step is to put in my 8-inch guide ring, as I'll be using an 8-inch diameter stencil. Notice how I've put purple tape at these 4 spots as well. This not only keeps the guide ring in place, it also prevents the stencil from slipping under the guide ring as I rotate my stencil. To start the process, I'm positioning my stencil with this alignment marker right at the center. This particular stencil has a triangle as the marker, which tells me that I'll be using the 45-degree interval scale for my rotations. In other words, I'll be rotating my stencil from one triangle to the next in between rounds of ink blending. This marker is a symbol that tells you which scale to refer to when turning your stencil. For instance, if you see a square, then you simply jump from one square to the next. Similarly, 2 circles means rotating your marker to every second circle. A star simply means that you can choose any of the scales on the base as your turning interval to create different designs. Do not get intimidated by the numbers and degrees, as they are just there for your reference and there is no math involved. I'm going to be using a series of Catherine Pooler mini ink pads for my cards today, and my first color is green tea. Now before I rotate my stencil to the next triangle, I'll be wiping it with some microfiber cloth so that there's no color contamination when I use a different color after. Now here I have turned my stencil to the next triangle, and I'm inking with melon ice. Some of you may find it easier to tape your stencil to the guide ring and rotating them together as one, and that is totally up to you. With these larger stencils, I'm comfortable applying ink with one hand while pressing down the stencil with the other. My next 2 colors were Garden Party and Mint Bee. You can already see the mandala starting to form. With these specially designed 360 stencils and the tool, you can easily ink up a colorful design without any masking. And rather than having to layer multiple stencils for applying different colors for different areas, all you need is a single one. And for those who are interested, here are the 3 colors that I've used for my next 3 stops. As you've seen earlier in this video, there are 4 transparent stencils in this pack, and these are for adding the finishing touches in the center. Or you can definitely use them to create beautiful backgrounds on their own. Now if you're already happy with just the large stencil design, simply add a sentiment and you'd already have a completed project. But if you wanted to add more interest to your cards, go ahead and layer these transparent stencils to create different looks. Here I'm taking one of the transparent stencils and positioning it on my card. You could use the 4-inch guide ring to help center it, or you could easily eyeball where to position your stencil. The fact that we intentionally made these in transparent material just make it that much easier. And here's the result. Super colorful and easy to do, no masking needed. Here's a different card I made using another pair of stencils from this set, with basically the same ink colors. And again, you could switch up the small, clear stencils to get new looks. You could perhaps even layer 2 large stencils together to achieve more depth. And that is the versatility that this set gives you. I'm using another stencil for my next demonstration, and I'm blending different colors on the different elements. I don't have to worry about color contamination since these cutouts are spaced far enough apart, and this way you will not need to clean your stencil until the very end. So you can see that if this whole design was carved out on one stencil, you'd have to spend a lot of time masking in order to achieve what I have here with the different colors. Or you would have, say, 3 stencils to do all the layering, but with this, you're only working with 1 stencil. So let me take this chance to answer a frequently asked question, especially for those who are just starting out with this tool. And that is, what if my stencil is not an exact fit to my guide ring? Is that a problem? And the answer is no, this will never be a problem. In order to complete a design, you just make sure that you line up the alignment marker properly when you rotate your stencil. You may find this stencil to be slightly bigger or smaller than the cutout of the guide ring, and that is not a problem. So even though they are laser cut, they are fabricated with a small dimension tolerance. And besides, for more precise stencil designs, we will have a small pinhole cut out in the center of the stencil, and that is for you to put a little pencil mark there so that you actually can keep track that you're staying on the same pivot point throughout the whole rotation. But for designs like these ones, or designs that look best when they have lots of overlays, they're quite forgiving. So even if you're a little off, they're still going to turn out very pretty. And finally, I'll be showing an example using the 6-inch stencil in this set. You can see a star symbol as the alignment marker, meaning you can choose any angle of rotation that you want to create different designs. Here I chose to rotate my stencil at 22.5 degrees, jumping along the scale with the hearts. For those who are wondering why some of the stops on the scales are filled in solid symbols and the others are just outlines, this example will answer that. So here I'll be using Twisted Citron on all the solid hearts, and then I'll be using Shaded Lilac on all the outline stops. I love this method since I only have to clean the stencil once in between colors. These alternating notation of solids and outlines makes it very useful to visualize and to keep track of all the stops, especially when you're blending 2 alternating colors. Then I simply took a clear stencil and added some glacier paste to complete this background. Here I wanted to show you 3 different designs that I made with the same 6-inch stencil. Notice how I can create different looks just by altering the angle of rotation and switching up the clear stencil? Keep in mind that there are so many other possibilities with this tool. You do not have to center your cardstock before you start inking. Be creative and try different things, like offsetting your canvas for an asymmetric look, overlaying the large stencils together, not just a large and a small, or simply use the small ones alone for a quick design. And don't forget to check out Artif's video for some great ideas. In this tutorial, I wanted to show you the basics, which I hope you'll find useful. This will be the guide that you can always come back to for reference. And here's a final look at all of my finished cards. And once again, happy Canada Day, and I'd like to thank Emily and all of the sponsors for making this haul possible. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm Sharon from Penguin Palace. Thank you so much for watching.